On behalf of my mum, my sister Ange and I would like to thank all of you who shared your love, wisdom and condolences with our family since the passing of our dad on Monday the 1st of October, as this meant a lot to us. Thank you also to many of you who have travelled long distances to be here. It would make Dad proud to see this church so full today. I could never have possibly imagined that I would be stood here today to talk about my dad leaving this world at such an early stage. All of you here today, I know you were deeply shocked when you heard the sad news, as we all believed my dad had so many more years ahead of him, and nobody could believe that he wouldn't be here. Dad frequently reminded us that he intended to live to 100 years old and receive his letter from our Queen. I know if Dad was looking down on us last week, he would be delighted that my mum received a letter from our wonderful Prime Minister Theresa May offering her condolences. Dad would even make us laugh, describing how Jack and I would be pushing him in a wheelchair at Stamford Bridge, the home of Chelsea. And he would comment that a real benefit would be that we won't be in our regular seats high up in the stands, but we would be in the front row with his wheelchair. A man's life is defined to a great extent by his values and his passions. Today we're honouring a great man, my father, Jesse Peter Gray, who was a loving husband, incredible dad, devoted granddad, to, as you know already, Jack, Anna, Eva, Ella and Isabella, and a wonderful, truly wonderful family man. I'm sure many of you will agree, he was also blessed with a good sense of humour and a mind as sharp as a razor. My dad was born on the 14th of May 1941 in Karachi Hospital during the war. One of 4 children. Uncle George, the eldest brother, Uncle Carl, second eldest, then came Dad, and then my Auntie Odd was the youngest. It's lovely to say that all his siblings are with him today. At the tender age of 16, in 1957, Dad started his apprenticeship at Dewhurst in Heston after arriving off a Swissair flight at Heathrow Airport. On his own, he set off to Standard Road in Hounslow, where he lived with his extended family. Dad met my wonderful mum when she was 13 and he was 15. And they married in 1964 at St Michael's and Martin's Church in Hounslow. And this year, they celebrated a fantastic 54 years of marriage. 1966 was a very happy year for Dad as he welcomed his beautiful daughter, Angela Louise, into this world, who was soon to become my amazing sister Ange. The other reason Dad was so happy was England won the World Cup a few months earlier. 2 years later, in 1968, I was born. And it was here that Dad, with his love of horse racing, wanted to name me Lester, after the legend jockey Lester Piggott. Thankfully, he didn't get his own way on this one, and Lester became my middle name. So all I can say is thank you, Mum. When Ange and I look back on our childhood, cricket, football, squash, badminton and netball were very high on the agenda. As you all know, Dad never played for fun, as he always was a winner and leader. This meant Mum, Ange and I would take you through regular hard-working training sessions. Mum ended up a very good squash player and Ange a fantastic netball player, along with both of them scoring and making the tees at cricket for many years. On one occasion in 1980, at Richmond Cricket Club when Dad was the manager of the Colts cricket team I played in. We were unfortunately one player short, so poor Ange, who was only 13, had to be the 11th player. Not only did she have to field, but she had to pad up to prepare to bat. Luckily for Ange, we won the game by 8 wickets. However, when Dad's sporting career as a player came to an end, it was time to be a spectator on the sideline. It will come as no surprise to you that when I say he struggled to fulfil this role, he would always want to be the manager. As a family, we did a lot together, especially sport-wise. I enjoyed my football and cricket immensely with Dad, as we had the joy of playing in the same team at Hounslow Cricket Club for many years. But as you can imagine, captaining Dad wasn't easy. He didn't take well when I announced the batting orders to the team, and he was either 9, 10 or 11, as he believed he should always be in the top 4 or 5. Then we would be fielding, and he would start complaining he wasn't bowling enough. At the heart of my dad, he was always a fantastic team player, and he wanted the best for me when I was captain, and he did support me 100%. Dad was always an achiever throughout his life, as he worked as a production engineer in Texas and Jeddah between 1984 and 87. This is where he became very good friends with Gary Muir. Gary was an excellent squash player and really helped Dad become a good player himself. As you all know, Gary and my dad became great friends and a great team of counsellors together. And Dad tremendously really enjoyed the counsellor role over the last 18 years, as he did put his heart and soul into it. He and all our family were extremely proud in May 2009 to May 2010, when he had the honour of becoming the Mayor of the Royal Borough, and felt privileged not only to serve the borough, but met so many of the Royal family. He attended so many appointments over the years with my mum as Mayoress, so I'm not going to say too much about them being Mayor and Mayoress, because I know Dad's good friend, Councillor Phil Bicknell, has got the pleasure of speaking after me. In 1990, my mum and Dad went on a round the world trip. Then in 1991, as Robin said, Dad joined Middlesex County Cricket over 50s. My dad also became a tour manager for Thomas Cook when he travelled to Canada, the USA and Alaska many times. Dad really enjoyed working with his brother, my Uncle Carl, at the Ascot Racecourse for the last 15 years as course supervisors. This was supposed to be a job, but I believe they spent most of the time trying to pick winners. My dad was a strong man, physically, mentally and emotionally, and in 50 years, I can only recall seeing my dad cry 3 times. The first, as Robin alluded to, in 1979, he was bawling his eyes out in Hounslow Cricket Club. He'd won the Thames Valley League, but for about an hour he thought he'd lost the league on the last game of the season. And the second occasion was when his dad, my granddad Austin, died on the 4th of August 1984 at the age 73. The last time I saw him cry was actually 1998, when he held his first grandchild, Jack, in his arms at West Middlesex Hospital, where he had just been born. Looking back over Dad's last few months, despite being as busy as ever, he enjoyed a wonderful family holiday in Saint-Tropez, where he beat us all at table tennis and cards. Then not long after returning, he was part of a special extended family reunion with his siblings, cousins, grandchildren, nieces and nephews. And following after that, he was reunited with many of his fellow cricketing friends where he enjoyed reminiscing about the Big H and Thames Bridge. Just 2 days before he passed away, so unexpectedly, we were at Stamford Bridge for the Chelsea v Liverpool game, and despite the final score being 1-1, Dad was pleased the Blues had played well, and he enjoyed a pint with myself and Jack on the way home while having our usual post-match review. That was sadly to be his last time at Chelsea, having given 60 years as a supporter. We will miss playing with him. Dad was my friend. And I know he would say that about me, but I know he was a friend to many. Dad was always there for everyone, family, neighbours, colleagues and friends, of which all of you gathered here today to honour an amazing man, Jesse Peter Gray. I'm so proud to call my dad